Hello, this is Jack from tofluency.com along with
Kate.
And we are back with another English conversation. And today we're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions and just about what we want to achieve over the next 12 months. Now, if you are new here, then know that we make these conversations so that you can learn real English. And I'm going to leave some of the key phrases in the description for you. And also go over to my website because I'll give you information on the type of language we use and also some information on how you can get premium resources. Okay, that was quite the introduction.
It was. Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a little bit of a structure to this conversation. And I've written down some questions that you can ask yourself.
Okay.
And we're going to answer those questions, but also answer the questions in the comments too.
Oh yeah, I love going through and reading people's answers.
Yeah, so feel free just to take any of these questions and do that. And we also have finished the sentence, a task on this, where again, this is a great way to learn natural English because you're going to learn the types of phrases that people use at this time of year. Oh, one last thing. If you want to achieve your English learning goals, then get my book, The 5-Step Plan for English Fluency. It's free to download. Okay, so it's New Year's Eve.
It is.
And we are recording this before our big New Year's Eve party. Small party.
Small party.
So let's just start with some questions.
Sure.
Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
What would you try if you knew you could not fail?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't know any of these questions ahead of time, by the way.
No.
So this is a surprise.
And I haven't really thought about answers.
I think that if I knew that I wouldn't fail, I would probably try something that seems a little bit risky or dangerous. Like I would try hang gliding, for example. Because I don't often try something that seems like it would be risky or dangerous because in my mind I'm thinking about the worst case scenario. And so I would try something like an extreme sport, maybe.
An extreme sport? Yeah, it's a strange question in a way, isn't it? Because if you try something that you can't fail, then it takes away any element of that surprise outcome, or it takes away the whole fact that we do fail at things.
Absolutely.
So it's an interesting question in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess to me, like anything where...
Because you could choose anything. True. You could say to run for president in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, you could choose anything in there.
Absolutely.
What would you try if you couldn't fail? Let us know below.
Did you want to answer that one too?
So again, it's just, it takes away a bit of the fun for me. Because I'd say become a professional soccer manager.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
apply for the England soccer job, football job.
Sure.
Because you can't fail.
There you go.
Now, what new type of exercise would you like to try this year?
Ooh.
Or activity.
Or activity. Okay.
I know what your answer is.
You do?
Paddleboarding.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't even know that was my answer, but that's my answer. I really have wanted to try paddleboarding for a long time.
You tried it?
I know, but, you know, I tried it briefly for a few minutes. I'd like to do more of it. And it's where you stand up, kind of on a stable surfboard, and you use a paddle to move around. It was really fun. I really liked the little bit that I tried, but I would like to do it more and try different conditions.
It's become popular.
Oh yeah, it's really popular right now.
Do you know what mine would be?
No, tell me.
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd just love to try it maybe Maybe
Yeah.
we should do these things.
Yeah.
If we're actually saying we want to do them.
Yeah. I'd say, like, now we're here. We're talking to each other. We're telling everybody about it. We should try it and then report back.
Yeah. At the end of the year.
Yeah. Or maybe even before then.
I'm going to ask one more question, then I'm going to give a quote that somebody gave yesterday that I've
Okay.
been thinking about.
Sure.
But last question for now is, what musical artist would you like to see live in concert this year?
Ooh. There's so many. This one's really
Well, you
hard.
have to choose one.
This is going to be out of left field for
Okay.
you. But I think that Lizzo is so popular
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
And I've heard she's really good live and that there's a really good atmosphere. I think I would like to see Lizzo.
Although she did steal that tune.
You know,
I actually looked it up the other day, and so many people are saying the same thing.
that it sounds like.
What's that song called? Lizzo song?
Um,
Is it Bad Boy or something?
I'm not sure which one.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it sounds exactly like Black Beatles.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think that she's an interesting performer. I think that she's been a little bit controversial this year.
Has she?
And she's talking about things that other artists aren't.
You know, she released that song in 2017,
Wow.
and it only became really popular this year.
So she just kept going and working at it, and she
Yeah,
got
and
there.
then that old song just suddenly became popular again.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for me, I think probably the Arctic Monkeys. I've seen them twice, and I'd love to see them again.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
last time that we saw them was about 10 years ago, right?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 years ago. Well, it will be 10 years in February.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Are they still touring?
No, they just did a tour.
Okay.
So maybe they'll tour again next year. I've always had this thing in my mind where I just think they're going to do a show where we live, and we'll suddenly just find out they're doing it, and we'll get tickets to it.
I mean,
They've
Stranger
never come
Things.
here.
No? Maybe we should campaign.
Yeah, I mean it's a good campaign. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing that one of my favourite people to follow
Okay.
is called Eddie Hearn.
Okay.
Do you know who Eddie Hearn is?
No. Tell me.
He is a boxing promoter.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I've followed his career for 9 years now, when he started out being a boxing promoter, which is a very hard business to be in.
Sure.
And he had no fighters in his stable. And now he's grown into the biggest promoter in the world. So I've seen his progress over the years. And he often talks about goals and motivation and things like that. And he said, for 2020, keep it simple and make 2020 better than 2019.
Okay.
Like, that's his mantra at the moment, is to say, instead of saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all these amazing things, I'm going to, completely change my life, make 2020 better than 2019.
Okay.
What are your first thoughts on that?
I think that, I think it sounds kind of inspiring because a lot of times we set goals that are too radical. And then we feel, we feel guilty or we feel
Stressed.
frustrated when we can't reach those goals. But if we just try to make, keep doing what we're doing but do it better, then that seems much more achievable. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. So my thoughts on that are that if you feel like you've got a good foundation now, that's good. But I also think that there's a term here I want to use, but it's something like reach for the star goal.
Yeah, so that's an expression, right? Reach for the stars, and if you don't make it, at least you'll land on the moon.
Yeah.
Or something.
It didn't sound too... Yeah, reach for
something
the
like
stars,
that.
you'll land on the moon.
You'll land on the moon.
Something like that.
Yeah. But, I mean, I could also see how you could land on the moon and then feel, land on the moon in this metaphor, and then just feel still kind of like you haven't achieved anything.
Yeah. And we can think about this in terms of learning English, right? So, for example, a lot of people watching this, they have a B1 or maybe a B2 level of English.
Right.
And their goal might be to say, okay, C1 in 3 months. And that's one of those goals which is radical, where you have to really just change your life in order to reach it. Whereas the goal where you make it better is to say, okay, I'm just going to stay consistent throughout the year, commit the amount of time that's sustainable to doing it, and then by the end of the year, I'll go from B1 to B2, which is a great thing to do. So it's interesting because you want to have that motivation to do something extraordinary, but at the same time, is it always possible?
Right.
And it depends on the person, depends on their life situation. So in a way, I want to say, go for it, do something extraordinary. But at the same time, stay consistent and do things. I'm going to make a video on this, actually, talking about the daily commitment to something for the minimal time. But if you do more, you do more.
Yeah.
But the goal is to just do something every day.
Yeah, I find that it's often easier to keep going or to do a little bit more once you're already there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, going to the gym. If I go and I tell myself, oh, I'm just going to do an easy workout for 15 minutes, often when I'm there, I feel like I can push a little bit harder and I end up doing, a harder 45-minute workout, for example. But if I think like, oh, I need to go to the gym, do a really hard workout for 45 minutes, it's a lot easier to not do that.
Yeah, getting started is usually, in a lot of cases, the hardest part, just to start something.
Yeah.
And there's a method called like the one-page method, where if you want to commit to reading more, just, okay, at this time, just read one page. That's all you have to do. If you do more, great. If you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But often you'll read one page, that commitment isn't so difficult. But once you do it, you want to read more and more.
So there's two different things. There's goals and then there's habits.
Yeah.
But they're really intertwined.
Yeah. Yeah,
They go
because
together.
you need a goal in order to create the habit,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you say just anything really, if you want to get fitter, then that's your goal to then create a habit of getting fitter.
Now
Right.
we're getting all tangled up.
Get the book,
But
The Five-Step Plan for English Fluency. It goes through it step by step.
Step by step. Nice.
Yeah. And then also a good thing to think about with this is, or two things. One, people talk about going through periods of sprints and then periods of walking.
Okay. So a sprint is when you run just as fast as you can.
Intensive. So for me, let's just say making videos, it's where I'll spend a month making videos and really being intensive with it. And then after that, just relaxing a little bit and easing off and doing something else.
Okay.
And the same with, you can think about exercise, where you work out intensively for 2 weeks. You do something and push yourself, but then stay consistent when you're not sprinting.
Okay.
Which is,
you
literally and figuratively sprinting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I thought about with this is that there are different areas of your life too. And you can focus on one intensively while keeping the others ticking over. Explain that.
That's actually not an expression that we use.
Is it not?
No. As much in our country.
You know what it
So-
means?
Yeah, I do. From talking to you for, you know,
What
more
would
than
you
a
say?
decade. So to keep something ticking over is just to keep it going.
Keep it going. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
for example, if you want to focus on your English, but you still want to stay fit, and you can't really give that attention to both in an intensive way, you can just do 15 minutes of exercise a day while you're
Working on your English.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
but
that
make
was a quote.
2020 better than 2019.
Yeah, if you're happy, you know,
Yeah.
with where you are.
Uh-huh.
But I also just think that radical change can be incredible.
Yeah, I
You know?
agree with both things.
Good. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. You'll love this question.
Uh-oh.
How would you like your style to be different this year?
Ooh. So
It's hard for you to improve your style.
thank you. I think that in the next year, I would like my style to be more eclectic and more unique.
Eclectic.
So if something is eclectic, it's not the same as everyone else. It's a little bit more offbeat, a
You wanna
little
be
bit
hipster?
different. I mean, I would say more that I would like to feel like I am comfortable, but also, you know, maybe wearing things that aren't the same as everyone else. Not,
Yeah.
you know, maybe shopping more vintage. Maybe even from my mom's closet versus going to the mall and getting the same things that everyone else has.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be a little bit more daring.
But comfortable.
I'm always comfortable.
It's so important.
It's so important.
I can't buy pants that don't have stretch in them anymore.
I know.
I don't know how I lived wearing normal jeans.
I know. So women's fashion has had spandex in the fabric for a long time. Our pants have been tighter but more comfortable. I think that that's just happening for men
And for women
see.
over the last 5 years, it's just all about leggings,
yeah,
isn't
I
it?
like leggings.
That was a good question.
Yeah. How about you?
I guess a little bit smarter, a little bit more formal, which I did in the back end of the year.
Yeah.
And not to wear my sweatpants every day. They're so comfortable.
I know. I have a very comfortable pair of sweatpants that I wear as often as I can,
Yeah.
mostly at home.
But I also like going straight from work to the gym and not having to change. It's like I just want to be able to wear the same shoes at work and at the gym. If you could throw a themed party for yourself, what would the theme be in 2020?
Ooh.
The Roaring 20s, right?
Yeah, the Roaring 20s.
Yeah. For me, it'd be a 90s dance party.
Okay.
Yeah, like British, or like a British 90s party.
Uh-huh.
So maybe
Yeah.
like throwing some Oasis in there, you know?
We can
the
make
dance
a
parties.
playlist. But I think that the Roaring 20s are just so exciting to revisit as a theme because it was a time that was kind of daring when people were doing things that were a little bit more extravagant or more decadent. And
Decadent?
so that's like more luxurious.
Yeah. Like treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's from Parks and Recreation. I think that's a great show for people learning English, right?
Yeah. I think it would be a really good show. I wonder if the sense of humor would translate.
That's always an issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I do find, though, that it does more than I thought it would. Mm-hmm. It's a great little structure. It does more than I thought it would. Mm-hmm. Where a lot of people, when I ask them, what shows do you like? Mm-hmm. Comedies.
Yeah, that's true. And the better that you get at a language, the easier it is to understand the humor, too.
And you understand the characters. That's the great thing about TV shows with lots of seasons. Mm-hmm. You understand the characters and what that joke comes from. Mm-hmm. You know, what place it comes from.
True.
What time waster are you willing to let go of?
Ooh.
To let go of something means to stop doing it, I guess, in this case.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Facebook.
Zillow.
And Instagram. Not Zillow.
Zillow is like a property app.
Yeah, it's like where people buy and sell houses. You can see the real estate listings. And for some reason, I have always liked to look at houses for sale.
Yeah.
But I do spend too much time on my phone. And there's actually a book that I'm interested in reading that a few people have recommended to me called How to Break Up with Your Phone. Mm-hmm. Like you're ending a relationship with your phone. And I haven't read it yet, but I'm interested in doing that a little bit more. This is going to be strange, but I miss being bored. Mm-hmm. Because since we have smartphones, I'm never bored. Any moment that I'm not doing something, I can entertain myself.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes the greatest things that we do come out of boredom. Like, in order to be really creative or to start something new, first you have to, have that state of just not really knowing what to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah. So I feel like my phone is kind of a time filler. But if I didn't have it, I would be doing more exciting things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good one to have. We recently went on a vacation where there was no Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And it was nice, wasn't it?
It's like a luxury. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although we got very excited once we got connected again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing, which I don't know if I'm ready for. I don't even want to tell you this. Maybe less chocolate?
Yeah. Is that a time waster? I guess something to give up.
Something to give up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to give up, to stop doing. Yeah, chocolate.
To quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Save it for like really special occasions.
That'd be nice.
I kind of eat a little bit of chocolate every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. For me, I think it is. It's a time waster for me is not necessarily the phone, but it's the check-in on the phone, if that makes sense. So it's to go and see if I've got any new emails.
Okay.
To see like the price of the stock market, or like just to update stuff, swiping down to update things to see if something new has happened.
Yeah.
And I realized, so when we were without connection for 2 or 3 days, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I bet so much has happened. Nothing had changed.
Yeah.
Like my fantasy football scores were exactly what I calculated in my head. Twitter was just the same. There were a few posts on Instagram, but still, it's like, if I missed them, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you can catch up later.
And my email, I only had about 20 emails because it was over Christmas.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
How many emails do you get a day?
About 50.
That aren't spam?
No.
Like people are emailing you?
These people.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just random people. Yeah. So I read every one.
Yeah.
I respond to most of them.
Cool.
But on my other channel, I made a video on how to respond to emails quickly. And I'll link to that, actually. It's really useful.
Good.
It's like keyboard shortcuts.
Uh-huh.
Being able to give the same response to common questions you have using text expander,
Okay.
where I just put semicolon level TY, and it expands a text into a response that I often give. And then, yeah, just the keyboard shortcuts to go like archive and open next email in one button,
Wow.
reply R, and then control enter send.
Neat.
So I can batch emails.
You're a machine.
I'm a ninja. I'm a ninja.
Yes, you are.
Now, let's do a few favourite things.
Okay.
We'll do this quickly.
Cool.
Quick fire round. Favourite TV show of the year,
Ooh.
2019.
A show on Netflix called Schitt's Creek.
That was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. I didn't really watch anything, TV shows.
What about, was Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but it's the last season. And
Yeah, you had mixed feelings. But that was
Yeah.
probably the one that you watched.
that was the one I was most interested in. Best accomplishment, 2019. Should I go first? 250,000 subscribers on this channel.
Woo. Yeah.
250,000.
250,000. That
Yeah.
sounds,
Sounds better, doesn't
that
it?
does sound better. Yeah.
250,000 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. For you?
So I think that probably my biggest accomplishment was I worked on kind of starting a real estate business
Yeah.
to remodel houses. So
Yeah.
that took that, I have a lot to learn, but I also feel like just starting something was the right step.
Yeah. Something you love.
Something I loved. I loved it.
Movie of the year,
Oh gosh.
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
It's the only one we've watched.
Yeah. We're laughing when we're
what
joking
about-
about it, but
Secret Life of Pets 2.
that was also good.
These children movies.
Yeah.
Now, what's the song that people sing on New Year's Eve?
Old Lang Syne.
Yeah, it wasn't a trick question.
Okay. I don't know.
Do you remember what that means? Old Lang Syne.
Oh, I forgot.
Time's Gone By.
Man. Yeah.
Scottish song. Burns.
I feel like I'm feeling very nostalgic right now. Like
go
I'm
on.
thinking a lot about the past.
Yeah.
It's kind of making me feel like sad, a little bit wistful, like
Yeah.
wishing for the past.
Sentimental.
Sentimental.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's also because we're not just ending a year, but we're ending a decade.
Yeah.
We'll look back and we'll be like, these were I don't know what we'll call them, the 20 teens or something. And,
Yeah.
it was an important decade in our lives.
Yeah.
A lot changed and happened.
Oh, yeah. And we'll probably release this video next decade, right?
Yeah.
It's a little... Do you remember my joke from before?
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
So I said I'd like to predict what's going to happen next year, but I don't have 2020 vision. Now, jokes aren't really funny if you have to explain them, but 2020 vision, next year's 2020, and 2020 vision means perfect eyesight. And it's true in my case, or in our cases.
Yeah, we don't have perfect vision
No.
or the ability to predict what will
Although,
happen.
why don't we try? What's going to happen next year? Just
Oh my
generally.
gosh.
Give me a prediction.
Okay. All right.
We won't get too political.
Yeah. No, I think more like pop culture predictions.
Yeah, or like the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Like what the feeling is.
What the feeling of the times is. This is so hard. I think that that honestly our our whole kind of like working world will keep shifting onto online platforms. I think that already people are learning and teaching online. I think that other businesses will find ways to move online, and I mean, they already have. I think that the process will just keep going in ways that might surprise us.
Yeah. Because it both creeps, but then also over a year, you notice things are radically different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have talked about, I was reading somebody's post about like business stuff, and he was saying that voice and things like Alexa, they're just going to explode to another level next year where most people are using those devices. And just from a business online point of view, people are searching more through their voice.
Oh, wow.
And
Interesting.
asking questions.
Yeah, that's really neat. And I think artificial intelligence in general will come into play. You know, things like self-driving cars.
We made a video on that.
Yes.
They're going to explode.
They're going to explode. That's just our prediction, but the technology is there, and it keeps getting better. Right now, our house is probably being vacuumed by a robot.
Oh, it's the best thing I've ever bought.
Yeah, it's so good.
A robot vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really want new products like that to come out. Like a laundry machine that washes, dries, and folds for you.
Yeah.
And sorts.
Although that's the easy part. It's the putting away that is
Yeah. Yeah.
at least for us. And yeah, it's interesting. I would say that you are more of an early adapter than I am.
Yeah.
Like so. You know more about new technology. You're more excited to invest in it, bring it into our lives, use it. I'm a little bit more conservative about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like things to kind of be simple. If there's a hard way to do something, I usually want to do it the long, hard way. If you're like, oh, there's this technology that will save you all this time and effort, I'm like, I kind of want to use the time and effort.
Yeah, there's a good word that I just can't think of, but you're skeptical.
Yeah.
When I got the robot vacuum, skeptical.
Yeah.
But now, it's the best thing. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It was $100 on offer. And it's just changed our lives.
Cleans our house every day. We also have animals and children.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it just gets up all the dog hair.
Although.
Go on.
It did.
Oh, right. So, our dog didn't get outside enough one morning. And it pooped on the floor.
Yep.
And then our robot vacuum went off automatically. And it was an absolute disaster.
Just like poop everywhere.
Luckily, it got jammed in that vicinity. So it didn't actually go all over the house.
Yeah.
So it was confined to one little area. But, well, cleaning the floor was one thing. I think it took me 45 minutes to clean that vacuum.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Well, I thought I got away with it because you cleaned the floor. And I thought, oh, God, I'd have to clean up the poop. And it was one of those nights where we were so busy and I had so much to do. And it was 9 o'clock and I noticed it. I had to, take all the wheels apart and unscrew things.
I know.
It was horrible.
It was really bad. But
I've taken it off automatic go now.
Okay. So now we can kind of survey the
floor.
Have
a
make
look.
Sure it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I know that's not funny, but it was a little funny.
It was a little funny. I might post a picture of it on Instagram if people want to see it.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone would want to see that.
If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments. So, it's great, but make sure that your floor is not too dirty.
But it also creates unanticipated challenges.
Yeah. How long have we been going for? I can't tell. Probably, well, shall we just do a couple more quick fire?
Sure.
I want to gain. Complete the sentence.
Wait.
I want to lose.
Okay, no. I want to gain more oh my gosh. It's awkward
It's
to
a weird
use
verb, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I introduced it in a way.
Yeah.
Because you would say gain weight.
Uh-huh.
That's why
but
you
you
said
would
it.
say earn money.
Earn money.
You would
make
say
friends.
make friends.
These are collocations.
Yeah. So words that you use with gain. You can gain experience.
Yeah.
I want to gain
That's a good one.
experience in
Real estate.
real estate, writing,
Mm-hmm.
photography.
I want to repeat.
Ooh.
It's a tough one again, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tough one too, because
Second grade. Because it's another one.
yeah, I'm working in a second grade classroom right now. I want to repeat. You can't really repeat vacations.
No, this is a great thing.
Yeah.
Because you say, I want to go on vacation again. Mm-hmm. We want to go to Spain again.
Again. I want to repeat.
You don't have to answer.
Okay, sorry.
I want to... No, I need more.
Sleep.
We made a conversation lesson on sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
watch
gotten
that.
a lot better since then. We're getting much better sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I could always use an extra hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need more help
Mm-hmm.
around with cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
with my business. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit about our plans in a second.
I was about to say I need more chocolate, but that
No, I want to lose chocolate again.
you
doesn't
can't
work.
lose chocolate.
No. I need to say that.
Oh, I need to say that
These are strange, aren't they?
yeah, that my friends are really important to me, and I need to say that the people that I care about are important to me and I love them more.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 2020. What's your overall theme for the year? And if you want me to go first,
Yeah, go first
Okay.
because
because I've thought about this.
you've thought about it. Mm-hmm.
So my theme for next year is to delegate more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this year, the second part, I've hired a couple of people to help with fluency. So I have a video editor and two content writers.
Neat.
Yeah, or just like admin stuff.
Yeah.
But I want someone to help me with emails next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to delegate more stuff around the house to people if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also just to get ahead. This is it's always been my goal, and I got ahead for a while and I'm still ahead. But it just means to make videos in advance, to create lessons in advance.
Yeah.
So going back to that theme of sprinting, doing something intensive for a while, and then, letting go of it.
Nice.
Yeah. And what about you?
So mine is a little bit more abstract. I think that my how did we phrase it? The theme. My theme for the year is going to be wonder. I would like to just have a lot of curiosity about things. I think that I'm interested in a lot of things, but I don't pursue them. And I want to be curious and find out more, ask more questions, and hopefully just really immerse myself, really get into things that I think are just interesting and fascinating, and
I love that.
just to be open to things.
That is
wonder.
my theme as well. Delegating is going to help
Yeah.
do that.
The practical things are going to help you pursue that. Yeah.
Yeah, because just before Christmas, I was looking at the world map And I just tested myself. We were doing it together, weren't we?
We were quizzing each other. It was kind of dorky.
Yeah, like to name all the states in the USA, or to name, in your case, counties in the UK.
Oh, yeah. I don't know them very well. They're hard.
They're really hard.
They all end in, like, itch or, like, Norwich or...
Well, that's a city.
Yeah. What did they all end in? They all ended in the
Shire.
same thing. Sure. They were all Shires. Lancashire,
Berkshire.
Cheshire, Berkshire.
Made a
so
lesson
many
on how
shires.
to pronounce those.
Or Shires.
Yeah, sure. But I found myself, like, just going through the process of learning where every country is in the world. And I can do it. I can name every country in the world
Cool.
on a map, and then every state in the US. And this is the kind of stuff I used to do and I used to love. Like, I could remember a pack of cards shuffled.
Yeah.
I trained myself to do it. And I love doing stuff like that. So it's about creating the space and time in order to do that guilt-free. Because we can constantly be doing stuff
Yeah.
for family, house, and work. But to try and find that space just to just do stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, just go take a hike.
Yeah.
That sounds
No, I
like
know.
take a hike.
Take a hike is
That's
an
an
expression
idiom.
that means, like,
Get out
outta
of
here.
Take a hike.
Take a hike. Not that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, take a hike, go explore nature. I would like to, like, take a class or two
Yeah.
because it's such a wonderful thing to go into a class or an experience or even like an online course, and you can just see how much you can learn.
Yeah.
And like get exposed to new things that you wouldn't have thought of. Somebody has created this experience and this knowledge that you can just consume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want
it's
to take
like-
like a cooking class. I want to take writing classes, photography classes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So there we go. Let's see
There we
how
go.
well we do by the end of the year. Yeah, we'll end it there. So, again, if you've enjoyed this, then please like and share it. Kate's question.
Ooh. I mean, the obvious one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your New Year's goals or resolutions?
Yeah. What are your... And if you're watching this in July, what are your goals right now?
Yeah.
What are you working on? What kind of things do you like to do?
Yeah.
And then, head over to the website, fluency.com. I'll leave a link in the description. And go check out the notes on this lesson. And also how to get premium resources. All right. Thank you for watching.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye
Or-
for now. Just happy
Anytime.
Happy anytime.
Happy anytime.
Bye-bye.